everybody, to another episode of the Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi podcast. I am your co-host, Darth Celine.
And I am your main host, the Artificial Dragon, and we have a very special announcement today. Ever since the uploading of the Star Wars vs. Warhammer video, we have gotten a lot of input and everybody's love for the Warhammer 40k franchise, and everybody is asking when we will be talking about Warhammer, or at least I introduce you more to the Warhammer universe. And today we'll bring our very first episode on Can Mayonnaise Kill. We're not going to Warhammer. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. We are not going to touch that universe with a 10-foot pole. I am very sorry.
For the sake of my sanity.
Exactly. Her sanity, and more importantly, my sanity. Because that is, if you thought Star Wars was an ocean by itself, Warhammer is a whole other beast, Hannah.
Oh, God.
Like, okay. You think there's a lot of Star Wars novels out there? There's
even more.
There's even more for the Warhammer series. Like, there's the Horus Heresy, which I think is right around 20-ish books, something like that.
What the fuck?
Yep, it's a whole other thing. So we're not going to be touching that with a 10-foot pole.
And I thought the new Jedi Order was a long series.
Exactly.
Fuck me.
And besides, we're not going to steal the thunder from Adeptus Ridiculous or any of the other podcasts. There are inspirations, and we're very respectful towards them.
We're not going to encroach on your territory.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to steal your Warhammer thunder as much. You know, that's actually a good name, Warhammer Thunder. But anyway, we do Star Wars content, and that is our bread and butter, and we'll stick to it for the end of our content days, at least.
Yes.
But anyway, even though we're not going to be diving into Warhammer this time around, we will be diving into something arguably just as big, physically at least.
Let's get all the self-promos out of the way first,
Exactly.
and then we will give away this topic.
Exactly. Today, so we have a Patreon at patreon.com/canmail. Once again, that's patreon.com/canmail. You can contribute to any amount, the lowest being $2 and the highest being $10. The Discord is available for everybody in the public. If you want to join our community, go ahead and go to the link that we have in the description below for our Discord server, where you could share general Star Wars lore, share memes, or talk about your day with me and Hannah, or in the case of today's episode, talk about Warhammer stuff.
And break Darth Celine's mind.
Exactly. Celine.exe has stopped working multiple times today.
Yep.
But yes, we always appreciate your contribution. And as always, we have this month's Patreon art piece, which is of Yulikal Droma with his two love interests, Alima and Nomi Sunrider. Both of them look sexy and beautiful.
I noticed how I only talked about Nomi in the last episode,
Yeah.
but Alima still looks beautiful.
Yeah, Alima is your classic femme fatale, especially in that outfit.
Yes.
But Nomi Sunrider looks so precious in that art piece.
Yeah, she looks like the anime show, like, not shonen, but like girl anime protagonist.
Yeah,
you know?
the classic, I wouldn't say innocent looking, but yeah, the classic personified beautiful
She just
anime
looks
woman.
very sweet.
She looks very, very sweet. But yeah, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and give a shout out to all of our highest tier patrons. We have Alan Lee, Alan Martinez, Balin Forn, Y Wolves, Dr. Emboss, Gobez, Lee Fott, Milo Khalid, Stardust, and Tristan H. Thank you everybody so much for supporting us for the past couple of weeks and years. We are getting back to our normally scheduled program, so if you love content like this, thank you as always for your continuous support as we continue to make further episodes of Star Wars like this.
Further episodes of Star Wars.
Well, who knows, Hannah? Who knows if we'll deviate from some other franchise. I'm not talking about Warhammer right now, but yes.
Hell, going into the EU is that much of a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
We'll stick with that chaos for now.
Yeah, we'll stick with the chaos that is the EU, because that is our bread and butter right now. But yeah, with my self-promo out of the way.
Support Celine's Cantina!
Support Celine's Cantina! It's been a little bit quiet, but the last update was the chaotic situation with Jawas commandeering a bunch of Star Destroyers.
Not
Apparently.
only that, they blockaded the whole of Rishi. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
But the Jawas have come back with a vengeance, Hannah. Jesus Christ.
I didn't even piss them off that bad.
Okay, I'm a little bit interested to see where Viz goes.
I have no idea where this is gonna go.
but it must be a lot of fun for you.
It is very fun to see the other reactions to this. So
Yeah.
maybe send in more asks and see where this Jawa apocalypse goes.
The Jawa apocalypse. That would actually be a good idea for a future episode on the Jawas, whenever we'll do that.
The Jawa apocalypse.
The Jawa apocalypse. But anyway, so with all of our self-promotion out of the way, going back to real here, thank you everybody so much for all of your support. Matt, the Heretical Hatter, has recently joined our Discord and has provided his full support to us. So once again, dude, thank you as always.
Well appreciated.
Yeah, but yes, we'll get into the actual figurative meat of this episode. Hannah, what big thing are we talking about today?
Biggest sack of shit ever in Star Wars. Orn Free Taa.
Orn Free Taa, the jovial fat-ass senator of Ryloth.
As if, and okay, we briefly talked about it before, but I fucking hate Orn Free Taa.
Yeah, as you mentioned before we started recording this episode, he has more chins than the Chinese phone book?
You stole my joke! Fucker!
Hey,
yes, he has more chins than a Chinese phone book.
Yeah, he's just chunk.
Fat.
He's just chunk.
He's not even chonk, he's fat.
He's a fat bastard in every sense of the word. But yes, after going through the shitstorm that is the Star Wars versus Warhammer fan fiction, I decided it would be nice to go back to something a little bit simple. And given that this is going to be released on April 1st, I thought it would be another episode where we could poke fun at somebody.
Yeah, this will be nice. This will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit fun. I say that, but when I was doing a little bit of research for Orn Free Taa, there was a little bit more meat to his lore, if that makes any
probably.
sense.
I could not care less. I hate him.
Ha, meat.
Anyway.
But yeah, so from what we know about Orn Free Taa, he's one of those background characters that you always see in the entirety of a prequel
And of
trilogy.
course, he fucking stands out because he is fat and blue.
Fat and blue and surrounded by both sides by Twi'lek women.
And he's not like any other normal male Twi'lek
No.
you see. His own Leku are fat because he has that much fat.
Not to mention, he has 4 of them, 2 in the front and 2 in the back.
And they're still fat.
They are fat. And another interesting characteristic is that he has 3 fingers instead of the usual 4 that all Twi'leks have.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I've heard some rumors out there that the designers of the prequel trilogies meant for him to be a different alien species, but they decided to go with Twi'lek instead.
He looks like a fat ass Twi'lek.
Yeah, just those minor details that kind of stand out that makes me think that he might have been another race, but regardless, it fits.
It does fit.
For the massive
Especially just
bastard that he is.
Ryloth as a whole.
Yeah.
It fits to have that roly-poly piece of shit running it.
Even though he's a background character, I do appreciate, one of the things I always appreciate about the Star Wars universe is that there's just random background characters that are just there for like a second or something, but if there's an entire backstory.
And they have an entire backstory, like B. Arthur's character from the holiday special.
Exactly. Or them just reminds me of the New Hope, where there's that random stormtrooper that says, Look, sir, droids, and he has an entire story behind him.
What about the one who bonked his head?
Bonk. There's an entire story about that guy, too. Which is
That's
hilarious.
what I love about Star Wars.
Oh, fun fact, while we were talking about him. The stormtrooper that bunks his head is probably the most lucky/unluckiest stormtrooper ever because he survives the destruction of a Death Star.
Oh, that's fortunate.
And he joined the New Order.
Oh.
The First Order. Ah. But anyway, we're kind of getting off track with this. So Orn Free Taa, like, he's a background character, and he is well remembered, but for all the wrong reasons. Because of his very overweight appearance, and he's basically the embodiment of your corrupt politician.
That's an understatement.
That is a huge understatement, especially of nowadays, unfortunately.
Orn Free Taa looks like a very orange man we all know.
We'll not touch that, but anyway. Orn Free Taa, he's, even in the Star Wars universe himself, he is commonly seen as the personification of the corruption that has been festering through the Galactic Senate for centuries.
Yeah, I can see that. He is fat, he is lazy, he does nothing but exploit his people. Yeah.
Okay, so for the side of the Separatists, the Confederacy of Independent Systems, they use Orn Free Taa very commonly for, like, propaganda. Like, this is the personification of what's wrong with the Republic. Look at this fat bastard. And even the reformist aspects of the Senate do not like Orn Free Taa.
No fucking shit. He also kisses Palpatine's asshole.
That is true. But there's a couple of things that kind of make me interested in Orn Free Taa. Like, even though he's very clearly a corrupt figure, he's still in the Senate because apparently he's pretty influential and skilled at his job as a politician.
Oh, you have no idea how badly I want to say something about real-life politics, but I can't.
We'll focus about Star Wars politics, as always, Hannah.
But just with politicians in general, neither Star Wars nor real life, you have to be good at lying.
That is very true.
That is exactly what this motherfucking gobshite is.
But anyway, so as with a fair amount of Star Wars characters, we don't know how old Orn Free Taa is. I assume he's like
ancient.
He is fairly ancient by Twi'lek standards, at least. So he is a Rudian Twi'lek, which is the most common species of Twi'lek, which is like the blue skin and everything. His name, Orn Free Taa, translates, which I think is one of the only cool parts about him. His name literally translates into Twi'lek, bird of prey. I know. I still think it's pretty cool, even if it doesn't match him as a character.
Yeah, I do like the translation, because Twi'leki is a very not translated language, but oh my fucking god. He doesn't deserve the name Bird of Prey.
Yeah. Still a cool name, though.
It's like my mom's native name. She thought for the longest time it was Water Tank. No, it's Rushing Water.
Rushing Water. You know, that's
but
ironically...
she thought it was Water Tank!
You know, that's ironically very fitting for him. But regardless. But yeah, like all Twi'leks, he was born on... well, Ryloth.
No shit.
And he once worked as a tax collector.
Why am I not surprised?
And then along the lines, he decided to become...
Yes, was he also a grifting businessman?
Not that I know of. I wouldn't be surprised, though. But eventually, like, he was doing tax collecting, and then he went on to become a politician at Coruscant, and became, interestingly enough, Orn Free Taa wasn't the only senator that represented Ryloth. There were a couple of other Twi'lek senators. Okay. There's Conus Trill, who is also, I'll send you pictures of these guys, by the way. I need to get to the Discord channel. But yeah, this motherfucker is also fat, just like Orn Free Taa. So at least he's not too unique. That just outright looks like the profile picture of a Discord user or something.
No, that's a Reddit mod.
Yeah, that's a classic Reddit mod right there. So he shares that guy's a Twi'lek senator, and there's this other Twi'lek senator who's a little bit more attractive to look at, is a guy by the name of Orn Free Taa. But ironically enough, both of these motherfuckers are more corrupt than Orn Free Taa.
No fucking shit. This fucker's all dressed in red and he has a red eye.
Yeah, I know.
Who looks at this motherfucker and thinks, oh, he's an upstanding citizen? It's like, no, that fucker's evil.
I mean, yeah, in comparison to Orn Free Taa, these guys are evil.
Orn Free Taa is a joke because he's a fucking blob.
Yeah, that is very true. These two fuckers are more corrupt than he is. Like, they have their hands in numerous spice trades across the galaxy. That one Twi'lek, the guy by the name of Orn Free Taa, he was killed by Jango Fett.
Cool.
Yeah, so good on you, Jango Fett.
Good on you, Jango Fett.
But yeah, like, it's kind of, I couldn't find any lore details, but apparently, like, all three of these senators share the title of Senator of Ryloth. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yay, more corruption.
But they get killed off. Chom, the other fat bastard, gets imprisoned because he was involved in the slave trade and all that. So, yay!
Doesn't Cham Syndulla, Hera's dad, become senator?
No, he does not. Okay, this is also an important detail for Orn Free Taa's backstory, because they were political rivals. Mm-hmm. But, Orn Free Taa saw, I know I keep saying his full name, it's kind of a habit. He sees Chum as basically a political radical.
Well, yeah, but
it's
for the right reasons.
Not wrong, but from the point of view of his Senate, Orn Free Taa is Vasanen by comparison. Which doesn't say a lot, granted, but still.
That says nothing.
But where was I? Okay. So yeah, Mr. Taa, he would use his high position to obviously indulge in a lot of excess, and he was legendary for his appetite. Even Obi-Wan Kenobi casually said, even this little delicacy wouldn't be fitting for the legendary appetite of Orn Free Taa.
And that assassin droid
that assassin droid's like, ooh, dessert!
How Duchess Satine even managed to keep her composure around him was amazing.
By the way, it was that certain detail. It was Duchess Satine that approached Orn Free Taa to join the Council of Neutral Systems.
Girl. Satine, what were you fucking thinking?
Well, it's for Ryloth's benefit, not Orn Free Taa's benefit.
I know, but fuck Orn Free Taa.
But anyway, as we go on, apparently Orn Free Taa wasn't always fat. Like, he was a tax collector. He was a normal-looking Twi'lek, I assume. The moment he went into Coruscant, he's like, ooh, and he
stuffed his fucking face.
Yeah, because he was in luxury while his people were living in poverty and squalor over there.
And slavery.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, he became...
That's why I fucking hate him. He is fat as fuck, living the high life on Coruscant, and all of his people are enslaved and suffering.
Yeah.
That is the main reason I fucking hate this man.
Yeah. We'll go into a little bit of a, I suppose, devil's advocate. I'm not saying he is a good person at all. I just think I want to throw some points out there for just to make it less black and white, if you will. But yeah, he grew so big. Okay, so there's the Coruscant Opera House that's seen in episode 3 of Revenge of the Sith. He has his own booth, and he is so big, he needs a space that requires 3 chairs to take up.
Oh my god.
He is that big.
That's like my 600-pound life big.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Pretty much. And
I can hear Dr. Now in my head.
And he is even known for parading around beautiful aids, one of which is a lithium, which is the rare subspecies of Twi'lek. The red Twi'leks, yeah. So he always parading around with these sexy Twi'lek.
Arm candy.
Yay. Yay! Not putting up a great image there, Orn Free Taa. But anyway, okay, so it doesn't go too much in his political history up until the election of Fennis Valorum, which is the predecessor of Palpatine.
Yes.
He disliked Fennis Valorum.
Yep.
Like, he was his most vocal opponent. And it goes more into this novel called The Cloak of Deception, where it's basically like
Isn't that an Obi-Wan Cedric novel?
Yeah, it is. Which happens before episode 1 and all that. And Palpatine was pretty much looking for political allies, but he saw Orn Free Taa, and he looked at Orn Free Taa and he saw him as a huge vocal opponent to Fennis Valorum. Like, there was this one time they went to an opera and Fennis Valorum came in late and he was applauded by the crowd, and Orn Free Taa was like, do you want to know why Valorum loves to attend the opera? Because it's the only place on Coruscant where an entire audience will applaud him.
Coming from the man who needs 3 seats to sit comfortably.
But yeah, like Palpatine, he was looking for political allies, and he was buttering, or not literally, buttering the Orn Free Taa up. Because if you remember from our...
Hell, if you fed him butter, he would probably do anything for you.
So once upon a time, it was Palpatine that was kissing Orn Free Taa's behind.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so yeah, if you remember from our Galactic Senate episode, there are 2 separate factions within the Senate. There's the Core faction and the Rim faction.
Yeah.
Do you remember who the leader of the Rim faction was?
It was Orn Free Taa, wasn't it?
Yep. Palpatine was looking at Orn Free Taa, and he was like, goddamn, even though this obese Twi'lek is kind of an unsavory character, I do need his influence and support if I'm going to become the Supreme Chancellor.
Kind of unsavory.
Kind of unsavory. Like I said, compared to the other Twi'lek senators, he's a saint by comparison.
I'm sending you a picture that needs to be included in the video.
Okay.
Continue on.
Okay.
I'll send it to you in a second.
Yeah. So Palpatine, like, attends this specific opera event, and he goes into Orn Free Taa's personal booth, and they're like talking, like, hey, are you the new senator from Naboo? Like, yeah, I'm just looking for allies. And Orn Free Taa was talking about, so this is around the time where Fennis Valorum was thinking about passing the bill on taxing the free trade zones. Mm-hmm. And at first, Orn Free Taa thought it was kind of a dumb decision because he looked at Palpatine because he realized that Palpatine proposed that to Fennis Valorum in the first place. And Orn Free Taa was like, what's your game here, Palpatine? Why are you doing this? And Palpatine was like, well, first, before I indulge details, is there a noise canceling system in this booth? And yes, there is.
A fucking course. Fucking course.
Classic senator approach going on here.
Fucking a la Watergate. Jesus Christ.
But anyway, so they start discussing, and Palpatine's like, okay, so the Trade Federation and all those mega corporations, they are making a killing out in the Outer Rim. So I think it's only fair that we start taxing them to kind of curb their power and everything. And Orn Free Taa is like, I don't know if that's going to work because they rely on trade with the Galactic Republic to get things done. And Palpatine counters by saying, if we allow them to go the way they are going right now, their influence will eclipse the entirety of the Galactic Senate. And Orn Free Taa is like, you know what? You speak the right words, Palpatine. And he, quote, calls Palpatine, what was it? The future party whip, which is basically the enforcer of a certain political party, if you want politics speak. And yeah, Orn Free Taa was buddying up with this nice, charismatic senator from Naboo.
Y'all should just see the scowl on my face.
It is, you could cut glass or diamond with that scowl right now.
But yeah, the picture I sent you just needs to be
all right,
somewhere.
Let me take a look. Let me take a look. The live reaction. Okay, that's pretty good.
The facial expression is accurate.
But
Anyway.
But yeah, like I mentioned a couple of times before, Orn Free Taa, even though he's infamously portrayed as a corrupt member of the Senate, he is kind of a very complex figure, as he seems to genuinely care about Ryloth and its...
Bull fucking
Okay, I
shit.
know it doesn't look good on the surface, but he legitimately cares about Ryloth and its people. Like, there was a couple of corrupt senators that have been busted for slave trafficking and all that. And he, quote, that them pursuing slavery is shameful. They should wear the shackles themselves and see how it feels for once.
And yet, he did nothing to stop active slavery on Ryloth.
I know. It doesn't look good on the surface, but it's just, I guess, it's like the common meme of, I have Leia's.
Eh.
Just throwing a couple of things out
I
there
know.
for Orn Free Taa.
That's not going to change my opinion, but okay.
Also, there's the common excuse, if you remember from a Twi'lek episode, it's like the common mentality of like, yes, my daughter is being sold into slavery, but at least she will be living on a planet that isn't Ryloth, because it's pretty desolate.
Still a fucking slave.
I know. It's just that common mentality. Like, hey,
I know, it's better, but in reality, no, it's fucking not.
I know. It's a very dark, twisted way of going about it, but that's how a majority of Ryloth feels.
I
But
know.
anyway, I'm not justifying any of this.
Good.
But, he legit called other corrupt senators, that wasn't him, of course, leeches.
Hypocrite. He's the biggest fucking leech.
And he fucking hates Venice Valorum, because he went up to Valorum numerous times to, what was it? Because he went up to Valorum numerous times and asked him, hey, could you make Ryloth a favored world? We have been a long-time ally of the Republic. We could get more rights, And Venice Valorum's like, nah. And Orn Free Taa hates Valorum for denying the favorship of Ryloth in the Galactic Senate multiple times.
Because Ryloth doesn't deserve favorship.
I mean, fair, it is a pretty dirt-poor world, but
Not
still.
only that, spice mines, slavery, again.
Yep.
There's nothing they could actively contribute to the Republic, and especially because spice is illegal in the Republic.
Yeah, and just the mere fact that he is the leader of a Rim faction, a faction in the Senate that wants to limit the power and influence of a Republic in the Outer Rim world and allow, sovereignty for those membership worlds and all that. Mm-hmm. He clearly has very good intentions. Then again, the Rim faction is also supported by the Trade Federation and the Techno Union.
Yeah.
Because they also want no taxation in the Outer Rim either.
That confuses me because, why is Orn Free Taa so staunchly committed to the Republic and not the Separatists when...
It is very ironic because the majority of...
It's very ironic. It's like, why the fuck?
Like I said, there's gotta be something that Orn Free Taa is doing right to get him into a lot of these high positions in government.
Failing successfully, I guess.
Failing upwards, I suppose. I know there's a lot of episodes we can't all remember at the top of our heads, but in the Corellia episode, he even detested Corellian senator, what was it?
Garmbel Iblis.
Thank you for remembering him. Garmbel Iblis, who pulled out a Corellia is neutral. We don't want any part of this. And Orn Free Taa basically calls the senator a hypocrite for pulling out when Ryloth has always been loyal to the Republic.
Look at yourself, you big blue tick.
Like I said, there's gotta be something he's doing right. I don't know. That's just my point of view anyway.
Fair enough. I still don't give a fuck.
He is also a member of the Allocations Committee, which is the people that keep an eye on the budget of a Republic.
Of course, so he can get a little on the side.
And the Appropriations Committee, which is the monetary grants.
Of course, because he can get some on the side. Fucking corruption.
You're not wrong. But anyway, a little bit of Orn Free Taa's political background aside. So With his influence as the leader of the Rim faction, it was actually Orn Free Taa who elected Masameda, who was also a member of a Rim faction, as the vice chair.
Yeah, I know. I don't have much of an opinion on Masameda, but he still supports Palpatine, so...
Yeah, and then the very next year, it was Orn Free Taa and the majority of the Rim faction that supported Padme's Amidala call of no confidence for Venus Valorum to be kicked out as Supreme Chancellor.
Oh, so that was Padme's decision, or her...
Yeah, Orn Free Taa
cry.
supported Padme's call of no confidence.
Oh, that sucks.
So if you really think about it, the only reason that worked was because Orn Free Taa had the power and influence to,
Yeah, but that gave rise to Palpatine.
Unfortunately, yes. And another interesting thing that I found while doing research. So there was a resulting election to choose the next Supreme Chancellor. It wasn't just Palpatine all the way. There are like 2 nominees and everything, like your average presidency and all that. The opponent, I believe, was not Bail Organa, another senator from Alderaan named Antilles Organa, I believe.
Okay.
He was nominated by the core faction. And want to guess who the other nominee was?
Orn Free Taa.
No, Palpatine for the Rim faction.
Oh.
Even though technically, Palpatine wasn't independent.
Okay.
And yeah, with his influence, he was able to get Palpatine elected to Supreme Chancellor.
Fuck you.
So Orn Free Taa, he has a very good reason to suck up to Palpatine because he's the one who got him into the position of Supreme Chancellor.
I know, but still!
And Orn Free Taa's logic is that, okay, Palpatine, he could be a huge problem for our political machinations in the Rim faction for, progression and everything. So he kind of elected him as a nominee, as a sort of like his nice little puppet, so to speak. Or at the very least, won't interfere in his politics or whatever.
He did have a point there, but oh my fucking god. Orn Free Taa thought he could use Palpatine as a puppet. Oh
Yeah.
boy, no, that did not work.
Unfortunately, Palpatine, despite his homeworld of Naboo being from the Outer Rim, he got really, figuratively cuddly with the core faction because he wanted their support and everything.
Oh, duh.
And of course, Orn Free Taa, with Palpatine's election as Supreme Chancellor, the Rim faction's influence started to deteriorate a good amount, and Orn Free Taa kind of had to step down as leader of the Rim faction.
Good.
And a good amount of people just defected to the Confederacy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, Orn Free Taa, he's still around, and he was elected to the Loyalists Committee of the Galactic Senate, which is basically like the Supreme Chancellor's closest advisors, like Bail Organa, Padme Amidala, Orn Free Taa. So he was rubbing shoulders with those kinds of people. I know. There, like I said before, multiple times, there's gotta be something he's doing right, because how the hell if he's this corrupt of an individual?
It must be like the way he thinks or something, because it's not his appearance.
Yeah.
It's not his personality.
No. He's gotta be very damn good at politics.
I guess so.
Or finances, since he was a tax collector and now has joined all these other committees.
Good at something, but oh my god, is the rest of him just shit.
I know. That's what makes me so fascinated about Orn Free Taa's character. Like, what is he doing right? I want to fucking know.
Failing upwards. I don't get how.
But yeah, during the Separatist crisis, he joined the Loyalist Committee, and he was a very staunched militarist, and he was very supportive of the Military Creation Act, which is very ironic because Ryloth is deemed a pacifist planet. Probably one of the reasons why Duchess Satine wanted Ryloth to join the Council of Neutral Systems.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
I know, it's kind of ironic. But anyway. However,
Tam Sedula would like a word.
But another thing that kind of makes me think that there's more to his scheming or personality or something like that, because he was fully supportive of Palpatine talking to Count Dooku to talk peace between the Republic and the Confederacy at the time.
Yeah, peace, my ass.
I know, it was all for show, but apparently Orn Free Taa was all for that, because he didn't know anything about Palpatine's machinations.
Well, of course, Palpatine fooled everybody. He fleeced everybody, but still!
Yeah, very true. But, okay, so there's these other little stories I think are kind of cool. These are all, on this website called HoloNet News on, like, StarWars.com back in, like, 2003, which is, like, supplementary source materials.
I think for, to even look at some of the stuff online, you have to use the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a lot of nice little in-lore details, because a lot of this stuff was released before Attack of the Clones was released in theaters, as like a little Easter egg or teaser and all that stuff, which I think is pretty cool, and it gives a nice little real-life example of Orn Free Taa pursuing politics and all that. Like, for example, he was interviewed on this news network called Amber Dawn Morning News, which basically talked about this incident involving Lord Dodd, who is the representative of the Trade Federation. And he basically got into a car accident, and they were talking, and Orn Free Taa was invited to talk about this incident. And he made this offhanded joke of, well, Lord Dodd, he's probably planning to sue the company because they're very racist against Nemodians. You know, it's just a offhand, like, jab at a Nemodian.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Nemodians kind of suck.
Very true, yes. And then the following day, he had to make a public apology because Lord Dodd complained to Storm that he made that joke in bad taste.
Oh, there's so many real-life connections I can make here, but I know I shouldn't. I know better.
Like I said, I just think it's a really neat little lore detail.
It is. Yes, it is.
Even though it doesn't dive into Orn Free Taa's personality that much, at least we get public opinions of what's going on at the time.
Yeah, it's like what you would see with any other politician.
Exactly. And then come the Clone Wars, and then the eventual invasion of Ryloth by the Separatists. Like I said before, Orn Free Taa must have... He legitimately cares about his people, because he was worried sick about his people suffering by the thumbs of a Confederacy and all that. Because there's a certain episode of the Clone Wars where Bail Organa and Jar Jar Binks go to Toydaria to talk to King Katunko, the ruler of the Toydarians, to allow humanitarian efforts to go to Ryloth.
Didn't Ventress assassinate him?
No, that was Savage Opress. She attempted
Another apprentice.
Another apprentice did, but anyway. And even though Orn Free Taa didn't attend himself, he sent a message pleading to King Katunko to allow the humanitarian aid to go to Ryloth and all that, because he was legitimately worried about his people suffering and all that. Which goes to show that when his back is put up against the wall, he does care about his people.
Believe it when I actually fucking see it.
Yeah, fair enough, Hannah. But anyway, and so the Republic eventually go to Ryloth. They link up with Cham Syndulla and his resistance movement. At first, Orn Free Taa wasn't keen on teaming up with Cham Syndulla and his freedom fighters because, you know, political rivals and everything.
It honestly reminds me, that whole situation with Orn Free Taa and Cham Syndulla on Ryloth reminds me of Zenith and the Balmorra resistance.
Oh,
in
yeah.
SWTOR.
Yeah, that is very true. Nice little connection there.
Yeah.
And like, Cham Syndulla fucking hates Orn Free Taa's guts.
For a very good fucking reason.
But both of them want to put the well-being of their people first, so they form this little alliance, moderated by Mace Windu and all that, because he's the guy on the ground. And Cham Syndulla is like, I promise I will not try and take political power from you, Orn Free Taa. And Orn Free Taa promised the clone troopers will leave Ryloth once, you know, the Separatist threat is dealt with on Ryloth. And
that's where Wexer and Boyle meet Newton.
Yep. And, you know, they liberate the world. couple of other things that happened during the Clone Wars, because he makes moderate appearance in the Clone Wars series, which I think is kind of fun. That entire thing with Duchess Satine wanting him to join the Council of Neutral Systems and running away like a little pansy bitch from those assassin droids.
That was funny.
It is very funny. But let's see.
Meanwhile, the fucking pacifist has a stun gun. The real pacifist.
The real pacifist, even though Orn Free Taa is a militarist.
I know.
But anyway, and then he was also present during the moment where Cad Bane took the Senate hostage and everything. And he was the one that pardoned Zero the Hutt, that entire thing. And then, and there's a couple of episodes where he actually applauds Padme for speaking out against more clone troopers and all of that. That entire speech of caring about the people. It seems like he has a good amount of respect for Padme, at least.
Well, of course. She's a very genuine politician.
Yeah,
unlike
very much.
him.
Like, I'm not sure what Orn Free Taa was thinking at the time, but obviously Palpatine saw Padme as a huge threat to his...
Well, no shit.
For his grasp
that
of power.
whole speech in the Clone Wars was when Palpatine decided, oh shit, I do need to take her out.
Yeah, he was like, isn't it remarkable how one could hold all the power in the galaxy, and yet the voice of one senator can sway the minds of billions?
Yep.
I love that friggin' speech at the end. And then, of course, we fast forward to the end of the Clone Wars, and we go back to Ryloth. Spoiler alert, the occupying clone force has never left, and now it's transitioning towards the Imperial army, and they're mining the resources on Ryloth and everything.
That's not good.
It's not good, and this is all dived into in the Bad Batch. Such a good series. I still need to finish it one of these fucking days. But yeah, Orn Free Taa, he's like coming back, and he wants to be loved by the people because he wants to lead them to a new age under this new regime and all that sort of thing. And of course, he's still maintaining his wealth, but regardless.
I remember seeing a rumor that he died.
We'll get to that in a little bit. But anyway, so he like makes this huge speech to the crowd of Ryloth in the capital city of Lesu, and everybody was just booing him at the end. He's like, son of a bitch. But then Cham Syndulla comes in to bail his ass out, and he's like, my fellow Twi'leks, we must embrace the era of peace, because, you know, he's trying to move on from the suffering of war and everything, and actually forge an era of peace so that his daughter, Hera, would actually not join in his footsteps, so to speak.
She became a part of a rebel.
I know, but Cham Syndulla had noble intentions.
Yeah, but for a few years down the line, she becomes part of the rebel alliance.
Yeah, very true. Orn Free Taa, even though Cham Syndulla kind of bailed his ass out and convinced the Twi'leks to embrace their new Imperial overlords, blah, 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 Orn Free Taa was secretly very jealous of Cham Syndulla. And he conspired with Admiral Rampart and Crosshair, the clone sniper from the Bad Batch. And he was all like, Cham Syndulla is a threat to our sovereignty, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's like putting up his public figure, like, Cham Syndulla, he would fight back against the Imperials the first chance he gets. When in reality, he just wants him out of the picture. And then it goes on, and eventually they found an excuse because they found Cham Syndulla's daughter, Hera, helping out with smuggling weapons for the Twi'lek resistance. And Orn Free Taa is like, arrest her! She's clearly a traitor to the people. And then Cham Syndulla had to bail his daughter out and held Orn Free Taa at gunpoint. He was like, I should kill you right here, right now. But eventually, Cham Syndulla's wife actually talks him down from killing Orn Free Taa. And then Admiral Rampart had other ideas, and he motions a distant sniper to shoot Orn Free Taa in the head.
Yep, Crosshair missed the shot, didn't he?
To make it look like Cham Syndulla assassinated Orn Free Taa. But then afterwards, it was announced that he will make a full recovery.
Could have died.
Yeah, it was very explicit.
Crosshair, he didn't complete the job.
It was, well, okay, Crosshair did that on purpose to make it look like it was a genuine assassination attempt.
I know.
But they needed Orn Free Taa still.
I know.
But no, like it was in the episode, it was very explicit. Like they literally just, oh.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Not like any...
It's not expected in fucking Star Wars.
A kid's show, everybody. I want to remind everybody, a kid's show. They explicitly showed Orn Free Taa getting gunned down, and they didn't like cut away to make it look like it was implied or anything like that. It was just very explicit that he was shot in the head.
Yeah, but it was a blasted bolt, so
Yeah,
no blood.
very, very true, but still very explicit. And then a couple of years down the line, Orn Free Taa, he would keep his position, but it was merely like a puppet ruler position, so to speak.
Okay.
The real power was actually with Moff Dalian Wars, which, if you slightly remember, is the lesbian Moff.
Yes, she's the one who has all the pleasure slaves.
Yeah,
and
she
Huff
has
spice.
Yeah, she has her entire palace full of Twi'lek pleasure slaves and all of that.
I mean, good for her, but still, not a good one, girl.
And of course, Chem Syndulla, he is starting his own resistance movement again. Called the
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Fun fact, Chem Syndulla is kind of ironic that we talked about him earlier, but he was voiced by the guy who voiced the medic.
Yeah,
Robin something.
No, hang on. It's gonna eat at me unless I find it.
Very true. But anyway, so Chem Syndulla founded the Free Ryloth movement as a guerrilla movement against the Imperial oppressors and Orn Free Taa's loyalist forces and all that.
Robin Atkin Downs.
There we go. I knew it started with Robin. But yeah, like Orn Free Taa, he's still ridiculed by his people, but he's got his wealth and everything, and Chem Syndulla's Free Ryloth movement is causing so much damage that it is slowing the spice mining trade on Ryloth, and it became so bad that it caught the personal attention of both Vader and Palpatine themselves.
Oh no!
And Palpatine's like, Orn Free Taa, can I speak with you
I
for a
need to
minute?
speak to you.
And at this point, Orn Free Taa is not the jovial old man that you see in the Clone Wars. He is visibly frightful of Palpatine at this point.
Good.
He's like quivering in his boots.
Well, of course, Palpatine is now in Sidious mode.
Very, very true. And Orn Free Taa is like, don't worry, Palpatine. Chem Syndulla and his Free Ryloth movement, they're nothing to worry about. Don't worry. We have it all under control. And Palpatine's all like, I have made a decision. Me and Vader will investigate that personally. And Orn Free Taa is like, is that really necessary? He's like, yes. Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
So this is all covered in the canon novel series called Dark Lords. I can't remember at the top of my head, but I heard it's a really good book.
I've seen the cover.
Yeah, it's a really cool cover.
Yeah.
So Palpatine and his entourage go onto this Star Destroyer, go to Ryloth. They are ambushed by a bunch of vulture droids and maintenance crew that were undercover agents of the Free Ryloth movement. Cool. And during that entire transit, Palpatine and Vader were kind of having a private discussion, and Vader was like, I got a good read on Orn Free Taa. He is loyal to the Empire, but he is, number one, loyal to himself, number two, loyal to Ryloth, and number three, the Empire.
Well, duh, of course he's loyal to himself.
Yeah, he's always loyal to himself. But that's another reason why I think he's kind of genuine of his worry of Ryloth and everything. Because he considers his loyalty to Ryloth above the Empire. I know it's kind of murky, but I just think it's an interesting detail to point out.
Anyway.
But anyway, so they get attacked by by Champ Syndulla and his guerrilla fighters. Vader got so pissed off that he frickin' force choked Orn Free Taa. The only reason he didn't just snap his neck right then and there is because Palpatine stopped him.
I was gonna say, it's because he was too fat.
God damn.
He's got too much fat around his neck. He can't break it.
The one way of resisting force choke, just be thick. That would be hilarious. So. But anyway, so Palpatine was all like, Vader, don't kill him. I need him. And Vader's like, fine.
Wasn't Palpatine laughing like a fucking psycho during all this fight with the Twi'leks?
Well, on the ground, yes. I'm not too sure about when he was on the Star Destroyer, but yes, on the ground, he was laughing his ass off because he was having the time of his life down there.
Yeah, the only time he ever does that again is when he fights Maul and Savage on Mandalore.
Yeah, pretty much. And so a little bit afterwards, Vader does see that Orn Free Taa is loyal because he was completely ignorant about a spy in the midst of a Star Destroyer and all that.
Of course.
And he was like, just because you're fucking loyal does not mean I will kill your ass, so you better watch yourself.
Count your days, buddy.
And eventually the Star Destroyer was about to be destroyed, and everybody had to evacuate. And there was this one comment Vader made about Orn Free Taa as he escaped, is that he described him as a rat finding his way off of a sinking ship. And that's pretty much all that we've ever heard from him.
Also, he's still alive.
Somewhere, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to weasel his way in the New Republic Senate.
Oh, God. Do you think Mon Mothma would let that happen?
You never know.
I wouldn't.
But, yeah, that's all we have on the Fat Bastard and Secret Genius, Orn Free Taa.
How does he keep his job?
I have no idea too. Probably the most realistic thing about him.
He's getting away with so much stupid shit. He still keeps his fucking job. Oh my God.
Hope we had a good time with that one, Hannah.
That was good.
It was very good, yeah. Yeah, that is our episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? Or in this case...
How many times can Orn Free Taa fail and keep his job?
I got a better one for you, Hannah. He can't keep getting away with it! Hope you guys enjoyed that little April Fool's episode. I had a good amount of fun with this one.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, we gotta dive more into more political characters like Orn Free Taa.
Yeah, but we risk the very fine line of talking actual politics when we don't mean to.
I mean, fair, but it's still a fun time.
Yes, it is. It really is. And some of our most popular episodes are on the Star Wars politics. So.
Yeah, that is very true. Well, okay, Pius Dia, followed not too long after by the Twi'leks.
Yes.
But yes, politics. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. April Fools. Not sure when we'll get back to Warhammer. Probably not in the longest fucking time. But anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day and stay tuned for our next episode.
We have no idea what we're going to do, but we'll keep y'all posted.
Exactly. And got any closing statements, Hannah?
As always, fuck Orn Free Taa.
May the force be with you. And goddamn, he needs to work out, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.